am Mrs. Banks, the Administrative Program Specialist here at the College of Business, and I am so excited to welcome you to our Fall 2018 Student Leadership Program. Our program today is going to be about academic entrepreneurship, how to use it to live your best academic life. But before we get started, I want to have Dr. Ashagre Igletu. He's our Associate Dean here at the College of Business, as well as the MBA Program Director. He's going to come up with an opening message for you all.
Thank you, Ms. Banks. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's now much better. That's better. First of all, let me bring to you greetings from Dean Andrews, who is, as we speak, is in a meeting at the Academic Council meeting, which some of you know that is maybe the highest meeting, which takes once a week, once every 2 weeks on campus. So he has asked me to greet you, and again, this forum has been so useful to our students, and from time to time, of course, we have been improving the format, and this panel format is perhaps the best for our students to improve their leadership skill, and also to discuss about problems, students' problems, academic problems. And this year's topic seems to be very interesting. We see here two very powerful words in the title: academic entrepreneurship. So in order to understand the purpose of this meeting, really one should understand what this topic or theme is all about. When we say academic, we mean it is an enterprise by itself. The difference between other commercial businesses and colleges or universities is that universities or colleges produce knowledge. So it is an enterprise, it's knowledge. Okay. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about opportunities, seizing opportunities, and turning those opportunities, of course, into benefits of customers and also the entrepreneur. So in other words, while here at school, it's not only really coming to class, learning what you learn and then leave, but there are so many opportunities on campus. Even here in the College of Business, we have so many opportunities. There are students' clubs, guests are coming to visit us and share their experience. There are internships, there are field trips, and many, many other things. However, unfortunately, few are those who realize the benefit of these opportunities. For example, when sometimes you see some students running for office, SGA or Mr. College of Business, you see, what are these guys doing? Are they crazy? They waste their time. Because these are far-sighted individuals. This is exactly what the companies are looking for. When the interviews, they ask you, have you been a member of any organization? A leader. Because whatever membership you have, you are sharpening your leadership skills, which is very, very important. There are so many, of course, other skills that you have to sharpen. There is a hard skill, which is your GPA. But the soft skill is what they also see and both. In order to have these two things, really one has to interact, one has to improve his or her analytical skill, which is very important, improve your communication skill, your teamwork, which is very important, technical skills, and many, many interpersonal skills, etc. You can improve these skills which you don't get in the classroom only when you interact with your peers in the different organizations. You take office, you start speaking, taking minutes, and come on time, etc., etc. It's very, very important. I cannot overemphasize the importance of internship. In today's corporate America, if someone here in the college, a student thinks, let me simply graduate with an A and then after graduation I'll go and find a job, that has been the traditional way of doing things. Today you don't have internship, the probability that you get employment is very, very low. Because corporations want to see you while at school. Here among us today we have a guest who just leaves the hall, Marcus Alexander, and he will perhaps later on will introduce you. He's now representing Boeing, he's one of our graduates. But I always mention his name whenever I talk to MBA students. This individual, I don't know, Dr. Ray, he has 6 or 7 internships.
Yes.
Can you imagine? And after graduation, he was not really able to choose to which company to go. All were inviting him. Within a short period of time, he has gone up the ladder so fast, it's amazing. Before 2 years, I knew he was with Ethion, and I think he worked with JNBJ. Now I hear he has come to the top in Boeing. Now he's the sponsor of this program. Just a few years back. We are talking about 6, 7 years maybe, I don't know, 5 years. So this is a living example. This is what companies want. And you can do it. Every individual can do it. So when some students ask you, are you willing to be a member of marketing club? You shouldn't even be asked. When I was a student, just like you, I was a member of all possible organizations. Always I ran for office, either secretary, vice president, president, whatever, and you can't imagine how I was able to master leadership skill. I cannot say I'm complete. I'm still learning, but it helps a lot. And you have to be in that direction. In the interest of time, let me first of all really thank this panel of students. This is also one way of exercising leadership skill. Expressing your views to others, sharing your views, no stage fright. The more you participate in such occasions, that fright will go away. You'll come out and speak to any gathering, because it's a matter of practice. No one is really born as a best eloquent speaker. Myself, when I first stood in front of my peers, I was almost shivering. I was short of words. Then the more you do it, until people tell you, please, that's enough, you'll continue to speak. All right? So I thank this member of the panels who have come here to share their views. I will also thank you, our College of Business students, for coming to this program of yours. This is a program organized by you, for you. And also I thank our faculty members, whom I see, Dr. Monuk, I see Dr. Brown, Dr. Powell, and I see Dr. Clark. I thank all of you and the rest of you, whom perhaps I don't see. I would like to thank really our guests, and finally, of course, the organizer of this program, Ms. Banks, as well as Dr. Ray, who as always is really helping our students body here on campus. Thank you, and enjoy the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ash, for always inspiring our students and filling them with knowledge. Our forum today is going to be a forum that's dedicated to providing you with strategies and tips on how you can use your time here at the College of Business to secure the bag and solidify the coins. Now, I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seats wondering, Ms. Banks, exactly what is academic entrepreneurship? It is the process of planning, organizing, operating, leading, and assuming the risk of an academic venture. Some academic ventures here in the College of Business may include pursuit of a 3.0 GPA or above, internships, business case competitions, short-term study abroad opportunities, opportunities for specialties and certifications such as insurance and supply chain management, professional and leadership development opportunities, as well as student organizations. So, how can these ventures help you to secure the bag? First, they can help by building your professional network. The more experiences and exposure you have, the more you can build your professional network. Second, developing your skill set. For instance, business case competitions can help you think on your feet, anticipate questions, build your communication and presentation skills, and problem-solving skills. And last but certainly not least, obtaining scholarships. The College of Business has so many scholarship opportunities for you all. It's very important that you do your very best to capitalize on those opportunities. Our panel of students today are academic entrepreneurs in their own right. They have capitalized on academic opportunities here in the College of Business while assuming some aforementioned risks. First on our panel, we have Simone Pillette. She is an accounting major from Abbeville, Louisiana. She has secured an intern with the Mayor President Sharon Broom's office, who is also the first female African-American mayor of Baton Rouge. She is a student ambassador and member of the Dolores M.R. Spikes Honors College. Simone is a student ambassador and member of student leadership committees for the College of Business. And she is a treasurer and finance committee chairperson for the Beta Psi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Everyone say hello, Simone. Next on our panel we have Marcus Field. Marcus is an accounting major from Monroe, Louisiana. Some achievements he's accomplished is Beta Gamma Sigma International Honor Society, Society for Collegiate Leadership and Achievement, Global Business Leadership Seminar Series certification, and he's been on the Dean's List since spring of 2016. Everyone say hello to Marcus. Next on our panel we have Courtney Wright. Courtney is a marketing major with a concentration in professional sales. She's from Monroe, Louisiana. Courtney is a spring 2018 inductee of Beta Gamma Sigma National Honor Society. In the fall of 2017, she was initiated into Pi Sigma Epsilon Business Fraternity, and she's also the recipient of the Valdry Center for Philanthropy Social Entrepreneurship, Fellowship. Everyone say hello to Courtney. And finally, we have Caleb Ngoh. He is an accounting major from Cameroon, Africa. In the fall of 2017, he was inducted into Beta Gamma Sigma National Honor Society, 2018-2019 recipient of the Genesis Energy LLP Scholarship. He also has an internship with the City of Baton Rouge in accounting. He is a Gala on the Bluff Scholarship recipient as well as Vice Chancellor Scholarship recipient. Everyone say hello to Caleb. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our panel discussion. I'm sure you're all excited to know what information you're going to be given today. So we're going to start the panel discussion with questions on how our panelists have capitalized on opportunities here at the College of Business. The first question is going to be for Simone. Simone, you benefited from identifying the value in building networks. Can you discuss how establishing networks landed you an internship and now a position with the mayor's office?
Thank you for the question. Good morning, everyone. So I was a student in Dr. Powell's Marketing 300 course, and basically my participation, the way I presented myself and things of that nature allowed me to be recognized and then recommended to be a College of Business ambassador as well as in the student leadership committee, as you saw. And from there, I met Dr. Ray as well as Dean Andrews. And then from there, the executive assistant to the mayor president called the College of Business asking for students to interview for a potential internship position. I interviewed. That same day I received a call saying they wanted me there. Monday I began, and it was only supposed to be an internship for that semester. I actually found out. They then offered me to stay for the entire school year as well as a full-time position for the summer, and I will be making a year there next week. And so from there, I was able to work with other departments, of course, in the city of Baton Rouge, including the finance department. And our finance director, Ms. Linda Hunt, actually spoke with me recently about possibly staying there after graduation and transferring to the finance department. So basically with class, aside from all the networking opportunities we have, just being a good student, participating in things of that nature can lead to many more opportunities as well. So.
As you can see, it is very important to network. I meet a lot of students that are afraid to talk to people, and that's not always a good thing. It's very important that you broaden your spectrum, that you talk with people so that you can network just as Simone has done. Our next question is for Courtney. Courtney, can you tell us merely how checking your email resulted in you having your tuition paid for the next 2 years by the Boundary Center? Also tell us how you took advantage of the Dow Symposium.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Banks. Good afternoon, everybody. So what really happened was, over the summer, I periodically checked my SUBR email. I know that's like uncommon, but what I did was I checked my email, and over a period of 3 weeks, I kept getting the same email over and over again. It was from the Southern University system. And previously, I had applied for an internship my freshman year, so I was very familiar with them. They extended the offer based on my academic achievement to apply for their social entrepreneurship fellowship. And what that was really was an opportunity to start your own initiative, find a problem in the community that you wanted to solve through your business. Initially, I didn't have any type of entrepreneurial ambitions. I really was comfortable working for someone else, but I always wanted to be an advocate for mental health. So I applied for my initiative. I focused on minority mental health, which is in the healthcare industry, and from there, they extended to me that I could do the second round of interviews. From there, I created a PowerPoint to stand out from the other candidates, and I was chosen out of, I think, 30 applicants. It's a team of 4 in my cohort. So with the Dow Chemical Symposium, really when you think of Dow, you think engineering majors. So I saw this as an opportunity to stand out as a business major in a mainly engineering-dominated field. So from there, Dr. Ray extended the invitation to me. She wrote my letter of recommendation, and I was chosen from over 300 applicants. It was a total of 50 people, and I was chosen to represent Southern. So with the Dow Chemical Symposium, I was able to gain insight on the company and understand their efforts within the marketing and sales region and their sustainability efforts.
Thank you, Courtney. Let me see a show of hands of you all who actually check your SUBR email. Show of hands. It is really, really, really important that you check your SUBR email every day. They send out so much information for the entire SUBR community. And I mean, it's just really important just to be in the know of what's going on in the community. And just as as Courtney has done, something as simple as checking your email can take you miles and miles and miles. Our next question is for Marcus. Marcus, can you tell us how maintaining a good GPA resulted in you taking advantage of Beta Gamma Sigma and the Global Leadership Summit?
Thank you, Ms. Banks, for that question. I would like to start off by saying laying down a great foundation and remaining consistent to that foundation can help you build your grades. So for me, it started off with my freshman and my sophomore year. I put in the time, the effort, and the energy for me to set my foundation in order for me to reap the benefits in the now, in this present day. So taking advantage of all of my classes, using the resources and the study time, I took advantage of all of those in order for me to be granted the opportunity to be inducted into the Beta Gamma Sigma International Honor Society in the fall of 2017. So for all of you who don't know what the International Honor Society is, Beta Gamma Sigma is an academic honor society that on the campus of AACSB accredited schools, which is the top 5% of business programs, which reflects positively for Southern. So the honor society, it allows me to be granted leadership opportunities in that It allows me to network. It allows me to enhance my professional development as far as leadership skills, critical thinking, and communication skills. And as far as the Global Leadership Summit, which I will be attending in Chicago, Illinois this upcoming November, that allows me to interact and be a part of a diverse environment in order to connect, lead, and learn with other students, and also enhance my professional skills as well.
Thank you, Marcus. I also want to say too, it is very important. A lot of times our freshmen come on campus and they're so excited to just be here, they forget about the GPA. But I'm here to tell you that if you let it drop, it's extremely hard to get it back up. So always be aware of your GPA. Always take extra time to study for classes and prepare so that your GPA does not drop. Okay, so our next question is going to be for all of you panelists. We're going to start with Simone in terms of your secrets for maintaining a good GPA. Simone believes in using a planner. Simone, how has your planner helped you in becoming a better student and time manager?
Thank you for the question once again. And let me begin by saying, I learned from Dr. Ray this amazing saying, if you don't write it down, it's not real, first of all. So with my planner, you notice we do have Moodle, but Moodle is mainly used to get your syllabus to you, right? And then when you think about it, a lot of our homework assignments and things of that nature are just discussed in class, maybe not even written on the board. It's just said to you and you have to remember it. And it may be said whenever you're walking outside of the classroom at that. So with my planner, all I do, the pretty color coordinating and different pens, highlighting, things of that nature always. And you just do your due dates. You do, this is what I know I have to do for homework. And if you don't do it that day, you just transfer it over to the next. Just the main point of it is you can say it's on my mind and I'll remember. You will not remember because you're trying to have fun. You want a social life. You want, all of those different things. You're not going to remember. So when you write it down, it's real. So that's what I use my planner for. And so recently, I put some good money into buying an iPad Pro, which we all know with Apple products, all of your calendar invites and everything you place on your calendar is transferred throughout your devices. So that's something that I've definitely used as well, just color coordinating as well there too. And then I can get it on everything, my watch, my computer, my iPad, my phone. So it's definitely helped me a lot throughout my matriculation here at Southern University.
Thank you, Simone. Surely our panelists have spent numerous hours studying. Would you, Caleb, like to share some of your study secrets?
Thank you for the question. Good afternoon, everyone. To me, personally, from Cameroon, school is one of our priority there in Cameroon. And to be successful is something that will make you proud and your entire family proud. There's a saying that if you fail, it means the whole family has failed. When you succeed, the whole family is succeeding. So while you're here in the state, studying is just kind of like, it's like hope. Every day I prepare prior to my class, I read whatever chapter the instructor has to teach the next day. It prepares me for the class. While in class, I ask questions, things that I studied, I didn't understand. And then sometimes there are some classes where, I go back home, I go on YouTube, I watch lectures on YouTube. Like there was this class I took, QBA, quantitative analysis. The instructor actually taught us about 3 chapters, but most of the things I didn't understand, and a lot of my classmates did not as well. But there was something I did extra. It was when I back home, I go on YouTube, I cover the topic, I watch, I have lectures, and I actually acquire knowledge from it. And when he gave his test, I was the only person that made a perfect score, that's 100, and he was like, if you have questions, come to him. Everyone was thinking like maybe I understand why he was teaching, but I actually did extra work. I am determined, and then I make sure I turn in my assignments on time, and also ask questions when I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Caleb. Also, Caleb, in all of your studies and in maintaining your GPA, you have put yourself in a place to obtain scholarships. Can you tell us the importance of going after scholarship opportunities and how many scholarships you have obtained?
Thank you, that's a good question. Actually, in Cameroon, you'll be surprised that the tuition there in Cameroon is like $50 a semester. So for 2 semesters in an academic year, it's like $100. compared to the tuition here, that is like 4,500 for in-state. So it's a lot more. Like if I have to go back home, call my parents to kind of send me money for my tuition every semester, then surely I'll be out of school. So scholarship is a good opportunity for me to use to pay for part of my tuition. And it reduced, like it goes ahead to reduce the rate of student loan and also working hours. You know, sometimes you work hard so that you can acquire school supplies, books, and also pay for your tuition, but scholarship actually helped me to acquire this. And it also distinguished my achievement from others. Like, as earlier said, I'm interning with the City of Baton Rouge, where I emailed, actually, before I got this internship, I emailed my resume to the director. And when she went through my resume, she was impressed on the number of scholarships I've received, and she called me for an interview. When I made it there, she actually told me that I'm impressed with the number of scholarships we have received. So the scholarship actually made me outstanding with, compared to other students that also applied for the same internship and were not taken. And not only that, you know, it pushes you to go beyond your limit, your comfort zone. You know, if you know this scholarship meets a 3.5 GPA a 3.7 GPA, it makes you to work hard so you can achieve that scholarship. Thank you.
Thank you, Caleb. And as I said, you all, there are so many scholarship opportunities here in the College of Business, and just in general on SUBR campus. It's really important that you do what you have to do to put yourself in a position to get scholarships so that you can pay for school now and not have to pay for school later. Okay, so you see just from talking to the panelists these few short minutes that you can take advantage of opportunities, and it's not hard to do. You can be an academic entrepreneur just by simply checking your email, networking, and keeping your GPA up. But we do know the struggle is real, and there are some things that we have to face as students. So our panelists, we're going to shift a little bit in gears here and talk about some risks and obstacles that could have impacted your success and how you manage those risks. So again, Caleb, we're going to start with you here. You grew up in Cameroon, Africa. As a student, it can be difficult being far away from home and having to adjust to a new environment. How did you handle adjusting to your new environment here at SUBR?
I will start with a brief biography of myself in Cameroon, a brief history of Cameroon. Cameroon actually is a bilingual country that speaks both English and French as their official language, but they have 260 ethnic groups that speak different languages and having different culture. So coming to the state is kind of a lot, you know, it's a good experience, but sometimes it's kind of challenging because United States actually have one language, one official language, which is English, and you have to concentrate, kind of learn like some of the things I use here is observation skills. Like I observe the way people talk, the way they do things. Like I will say, for instance, like my first day in school here, it was English 110 in class, and someone sneezed in class, and everyone was like, bless you, bless you, bless you. I smiled because back home, in my school, if you sneeze in class, we'll be like, send the goat outside. You know, it's kind of, or give salt to that goat. So I see how welcoming people are, and I realize if you sneeze in class, that's an example, I have to tell you, bless you. So I use my observational skills, you know, to observe how people to talk and what they do. And also I will talk about the education system. You know, like in Cameroon, we have what they call Amphi 1000, which means in a class about 1,000 students. And the instructor actually used a mic at the university to teach all the students. A class can be going on in front, and maybe at the back of the class, there's business going on, other things. Nobody cares about you if you are studying, if you are doing good in school. You have to be determined to do that. Compared to here, where a class can be maximum of about 50 students or 25, where you have a good relationship with your instructors. I kind of learned that, and I try to make sure, you know, I have a good relationship with my teachers. Also, I try, like, I'm not afraid of trying new things. When I make mistakes, I correct myself. I'm not perfect, so I know I'm in a strange environment, a new environment. I always try to explore new things. And also, you know, like the climate here, climate situation is different from that of Cameroon, you know. Sometimes it gets too cold. Like my first time I've ever seen a snow was here in the state. I always watch it on TV, see how things are going on in here. But I experienced it myself some few years back. Also, there are a lot of different things like, as I said, I experienced different things like using credit or debit card. All these things are all new. I heard about it back then in Cameroon. Most of these things we studied it in school, but we don't usually come in contact with them. So I'm privileged to kind of learn and use them as well here.
Thank you, Caleb. I have to totally agree. When you're placed in a situation and you're not sure what to do or how to act, it's always very important and very beneficial to just sit and observe. It's okay to make mistakes. If you make a mistake, just make sure you learn from it. Okay, so our next question is going to be from Marcus and Courtney. Marcus and Courtney, you are both from North Louisiana. For anyone who knows anything about North Louisiana, career options are limited and the struggle up there is real. How exactly does this motivate you to push through and make it? Ladies first, Courtney.
Thank you, Ms. Banks, again. What really motivates me is knowing that I have nothing to go back to. And it's not like family-wise, because you can always go back to your family, but it's career options. This past summer, I actually took a break from my internships and everything, and I went back home and worked, and I saw that there was really nothing for me to grow my skills and my strengths and build on my weaknesses. I really saw that you have to do that personally within yourself. And so really that's what motivates me, and also looking at my peer group, what the people are doing that graduated with me from high school. Are they at school working towards their goals, or are they working part-time at a dead-end job? Are they selling drugs? Do they have kids? Like, what are you doing to like build upon yourself and get out of your situation? So really I had to learn, coming to Southern, you have to go out of your comfort zone, because coming to Southern, I wasn't used to being away from home as much and having to be independent. So really you have to learn to get out of your comfort zone. And eventually Southern will become comfortable to you. So you have to prepare yourself to leave and be able to stand on your own when you leave Southern. So that's what really motivates me.
Marcus?
Thank you for that question, Ms. Banks. For me, I would say I had a strong desire in order to succeed, and that's why I wanted to break that barrier in order to get out of my situation. Now, for those who don't know, Monroe, Louisiana is one of the top 3 cities in Louisiana of the most dangerous cities. So, in my case, I could have stuck to the norm and be like everyone else and just stay stagnant into the situation and just deal with it. But I chose to do something different and make something out of myself. So, in addition to the limited career opportunities, I use my strong support system and my genuine friends in order to use that as motivation, in order to gain a fire inside of me, in order to gain success from that, and I've remained consistent with it ever since.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcus and Courtney, for sharing your experiences. I myself am from a small town as well, so I understand what you mean, but it's not about where you start, it's how you end. So that's really important. Thank you guys so much for that. Our next question is for you, Simone. When you started here at college at Southern University, you were dealing with family issues. Do you mind sharing what those family issues are and how you manage that?
Thank you. So, senior year, of course, of high school, it was just my parents divorcing, and that's very common. Yes, we all know. The only difference, though, was I was raised, of course, me and my 2 younger siblings by my father, and whenever you and your parents no longer work out in divorce, and they no longer talk to you, support you, help you with anything, that is very much so a burden. So basically, we have had no contact with my dad since they divorced. And once again, that was my senior year. At the same time, I did have my younger siblings were in private school, so you pay for their tuition and whatnot. And then it's money whenever you graduate. Your graduation party, your cap and gown and everything. So basically, I made the executive decision to stay and go to UL so I can help my mom, of course. She told me, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're just 17 at the time. You're 17, go out, have fun, live your life, instead of claiming 2 kids and staying behind. So from that point on, I said, well, I have to be the last thing on my mom's mind whenever I leave to go to school. So I went ahead and started looking through colleges, finding scholarships and whatnot, and found Southern University's Honors College. I applied within a week and a half. I got a response saying I've been accepted and my school is paid for. So, I get paid basically to attend Southern University, which is an amazing thing. And at the same time, my dad had just taken my car from me because that was the only thing that was in his name. So I didn't have a car, so I'm traveling back and forth from Baton Rouge and Abbeville. It was just a lot going on. So like I said, me going ahead and getting my school paid for was a big help. From that point on, my car note was able to, of course, be maintained. I got a car, and basically since then, I'm the last thing on her mind. She doesn't have to worry about her daughter whenever she's here. You can see where I am now. I have an amazing support system here in the College of Business. Dr. Ray, Dr. Powell are wonderful mentors to me here. So basically, yes, you lose a parent and you gain a lot of other great, amazing support systems later in life. So,
Thank you, Simone. Thank you so much for sharing your personal experience. I also want to say, students, do you realize that working part-time dead-end jobs is actually a risk as well? Because it can hinder you from capitalizing on professional opportunities. For those on the panel that work, tell me, how do you balance work and your studies? Anyone who wants to share?
Okay. To balance work and study, it's challenging because I remember prior to me starting school, I had a full-time job at Lowe's as a customer service associate, and I have to tell my supervisor that can you reduce my working days to 2 days a week? And the human resource manager told me that's so small. We need you for 4 to 5 days a week. I told her, okay, my school comes first. I can't deal with work and school because the thing is, I realized at the end of the day, if you work 8 hours a day and you have to come back to school, attend class, and you have assignment, you have to study, it's really, really challenging. Sometimes you also need to prioritize your time. Like, there are things that you have to forego. Like, you have to forego something to get what you don't have. So most of the times, I make sure like I work less and study more. As I said earlier, I use the opportunities of applying for scholarships because I know the financial scholarships will go a long way to assist me for the times that I'm not working. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Banks. As for me, I would say the method that I use for time management, I've been using something called Get It Done Before 5. And what that means is when I was a younger boy, my mother was a worker. She was an employee at Walmart. So when I was in elementary school and once I got out of school, she would get off at 5 o'clock for most of the days throughout the week. So she always said before she gets home, have all my homework done before 5 o'clock. So I've been using it up to this point in order to manage my time wisely and get everything done at a certain time in order for me to relax in the evening going into nighttime. So that's what I've been using. In addition to that, as far as my study skills, I use the method that LeBron James does. For those who don't know, I'm a huge fan of LeBron James. So what he does on the court and off the court is completely different, which I highly respect. So prior to him starting a game, he relaxes his mind by reading the book, socializing with his teammates, or even listening to music, so the game doesn't become overwhelming. Because as we all know, there's a life inside of basketball and there's also a life outside of basketball. So I flipped it into my situation as in I will take an hour break from my studying to relax myself and do something else, and then I will start back on it at a later time so it won't become overwhelming. And it's been very beneficial.
Thank you all so much. So our panel members today have identified opportunities in the College of Business, but they have also dealt with some very real issues and risks. For those in the audience, don't allow the risk to cloud your professional opportunities. It does not matter if you're trying to work for yourself or if you're trying to work for a company. Always do your very best to be the very best academic entrepreneur you can be. So at this time, we're going to open the floor for questions and answers. If any of you students in the audience have any questions for the panelists, now will be your time to ask, to seize the opportunity and ask the questions that you have. No one's curious about anything.
Do you need me to stand?
You can stand, yes.
Hello, I'm SUBR Goodman, a junior marketing major. I have a question for Courtney specifically because she touched on this, but if the other panelists had something to say about this, I would love to hear it as well. Essentially, you were saying that it's important to break out of your comfort zone as far as entrepreneurship and business goes. What were some of the things you did to break out of that comfort zone or to start to become more comfortable within entrepreneurship and anything in the business realm?
Thank you for that question, Tamari. What I really did was, first you have to educate yourself. If you don't know about a certain subject or different, for example, entrepreneurship, if you're not sure how to start, educate yourself. Don't limit yourself to what other people can tell you and your resources. And another thing would be to just put yourself in the place to be uncomfortable. Recently, I accepted an internship with a marketing firm in town. And really, it's it's more of a startup business, so it's not a more consistent thing. But I'm willing to put myself in a place where I'm uncomfortable with my schedule to learn more and learn from somebody and have the opportunity to gain mentorship. So that's what I do.
Anyone else has any questions? You want to answer her question as well? Okay.
Thank you for that question. In addition to what Courtney said, I would say for me, my struggle was public speaking because I was always in this bottled up shell and I wasn't that sociable. So in order for me to break out of this shell and stop hindering myself so I can grow and mature as a person, I enrolled in Dr. Ray's class of Business Communication and Professional Development, which enhanced my public speaking skills. She utilized a lot of presentations and group presentations in order for me to get used to speaking in front of people and being more comfortable with myself, and also just being able to relax and using the Superman or Superwoman method to drop that gut feeling in my stomach and just drop it to the floor. And after that, I'm very good with presenting.
Thank you. I think Caldrick had a question for the panelists.
Hello everyone, my name is Caldrick Slaughter. I am a senior business management and marketing dual major with a concentration in human resources. So this question is for anyone on the panel. How important do you think that globalization is to academic entrepreneurship? The question is, how important do you think globalization is to academic entrepreneurship?
Study abroad, being abroad, learning from being abroad.
I would say it's important because, first, the world is very diverse. There's a lot of diversity today. If you concentrate in learning one thing consistently, the world is constantly changing. You have to learn about other cultures, other things people do and how they do it, so that when you get into an industry, for instance, they are always diverse. You may find yourself working with people from other nations as well, and they do things differently. So it's very important to kind of diverse and learn about other things.
Thank you, Caleb.
Also, to add to what Caleb said, I believe that it helps you gain perspective. And cognitive diversity is something that they're working towards in corporate America, and that's just the diversity of thought. So when you do these experiences and you gain this perspective, that makes you a more valuable asset to a company as well.
Thank you, Courtney. Marcus, you want to add something?
Yes, ma'am. In addition to what Caleb and Courtney said, also what I learned in Dr. Ray's Business Communication and Professional Development class was Intercultural Communication. So with that being said is also in the corporate America, as Courtney said, you will be working with other colleagues who are not like you and who don't look like you. So it is to your advantage to learn other cultures, because everybody's ideals, beliefs, and values are very different from ours over here. So if you learn other cultures and their traditions, it can help you out in the long run.
Thank you, Marcus. Any other questions? Dr. Ash, you have a question?
I have a brief question. As emerging leaders, I'm sure all of you have your own goals about the future. Can you perhaps share very, very briefly what are your goals after graduation?
Thank you very much for the question. So, as they said, I will be graduating with a degree in accounting, but you do need a bachelor's to go to law school. So I've been planning to join our JD MBA dual program here at Southern University, where I will once again get my JD and MBA, be able to pass the bar with great hope, as well as qualify to take the CPA exam. So from there, my main goal is to be a practicing attorney, but of course, as usual, you would like to get your best bang for buck. So if I can get 2 degrees and then certification, that'd be wonderful as well.
Thank you, Simone. Any other questions? I'm sorry.
Marcus, let all of them answer that question.
Okay. Marcus, would you like to also add something to that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question. As for me, post-graduation, I would like to, after I obtain my bachelor's degree, I would like to pursue for my master's degree in accounting, and after that, sit for my CPA exam and obtain a job at an accounting firm.
Thank you, Marcus.
It's coming here all the time. Quick notice on the wall, you will see a lot of internship they come on campus frequently.
Thank you, Caleb. Marcus, you want to add something as well?
Thank you for that question. In addition to what Caleb said, I would like to add networking and getting out of your comfort zone, as Courtney said earlier. So networking is going to help you out because you will meet others who can like aid you in order to like what to look for and what jobs to go to. So and also in addition to that, you can also utilize Miss Montgomery. She does resume reviews and just helps you out in order for you to prepare for the career fair and like you know what type of format that your resume should be in. So.
Thank you, Marcus. So in closing, panelists, if you could each leave the students in the audience with a helpful tip on how to look at their college experience as an opportunity to secure the professional bag, what would it be?
Thank you. I most definitely would say, being a senior now, communication. Please communicate with your peers, communicate with upperclassmen, communicate with professors. That is the biggest thing I would say. Communication is definitely what got me to where I am today. Speaking every morning, checking in, just dropping by the office, seeing is there anything I should know about going on in the College of Business, you know, things of that nature. And then that's going to definitely prepare you to be able to speak and communicate and I guess communicate your goals and what it is that you want in life, because you never know who you're going to meet at any moment in time, basically. So that's why I'm going to connect that to the professional bag, and since it's saying if you start practicing now, it's going to help you out a lot more in the long run. So just talk.
Thank you, Simone. Marcus?
Thank you for that. I would say continue to network and gain connections because as we're sitting in this room right now, down the line, like 5 years or 10 years later, you never know who you're going to work with. You could be sitting next to your next colleague for the future. So just continue to broaden your network and gain connections and just get more insights and information that can aid you along in the future.
Thank you, Marcus. Courtney?
I would say my biggest tip is market yourself as a business, because at the end of the day, you are your own business. Nobody's going to have your back but you. So I would say having business cards. Your resume is also a form of a business card. You need to make sure that your resume is in perfect shape. I would recommend using the Thurgood Marshall College Fund format for your resume. It's very organized. It's located on the Career Services link on Southern's website. And also another tip I would bring would be establishing relationships with the faculty of the College of Business. Like Simone and Marcus said, it's nothing to walk into someone's office and just introduce yourself, and just that's another way of expressing your personal brand. Not also with social media, but just in-person marketing as well.
Thank you, Courtney. Kayla?
I will encourage you to make maximum use of every opportunity here on campus, like the career fair, internship, like make sure you have as many internships as you can, and also attend conferences and workshops. Be open-minded to anything that comes your way. You will definitely secure one big part.
Thank you, Caleb. So let's go into our panel discussion for today. We want to thank our panelists for sharing their stories and hopefully inspiring you to seek opportunities for yourself. I believe that also give us a few extra minutes of their time after the forum. So if you have any questions you want to ask them personally, they will be available to see you for a few moments after the forum. We're going to move to the next portion of our agenda today. We have a sponsor today, Boeing. Representing Boeing, we have Mr. DeMarcus Alexander. He is an SU alum as well as the Global Trade Control Specialist for Boeing. So we're going to have him come up, tell you a little bit about himself and the opportunities Boeing has to offer.
Hi everybody, my name is DeMarcus Alexander. We're going to watch a short video about the Boeing company and then we'll get started. And actually, I'll use a part of my time. Boeing is sponsoring some water and pizza today, and so just arrived, it's hot. You know, if y'all like me, I don't want to eat cold pizza, so if you can very quickly. No, you sure?
They can hold.
Okay.
The question is old as time, heard round the world and in every heart. It thrills the imagination and gives wings to possibility. Its footsteps fill history, and its hands hold destiny. It whispers in the dark, and its echo shakes the earth. The question called to those who came before, and they answered with the incredible. It urged them to start small and think infinite, to pursue possibilities and dream no small dream, to see a future filled with hope and unite to build something better. Working together, they connected continents. Building the future of flight, they unlocked the stars. Leading their generation, they inspired ours. To dream high and fly far, to bind together and build the future. To lead our world and find new ones. To honor their legacy and leave our own. Our founders heard the call, and their answer lives on. From ocean waves to the edge of space, through our first century and into the next. Their memory remains. Now, it's our turn. The question is calling louder than ever. What will we dream next?
Thank you, Dr. Ray. So that's the Boeing company. How many of you have heard of Boeing before? Okay. So if you can't tell from the video, we make airplanes. Boeing is the world's leading aerospace company. We make such products as 747. It's talked about in a lot of songs, movies. It's a commercial airline. So if you've ever flown Delta, American Airlines, even Spirit, you've flown on a Boeing airplane. We also make military products, and so we'll take some of those commercial airplanes that we use for to get you from point A to point B, take the commercial stuff out of them, put some military products, and then we have things like the AWACS, things that we use for surveillance, for what we call identification of friend or foe, seeing if people are friendly to the United States or not. We also make Air Force One and First Lady's plane. So when we say we are the world's leading aerospace company, it's not just a slogan. We truly are. Last year we had about $93.4 billion in revenue. Glad to say part of that was to pay my salary. And so we'd like to have a lot of you to join us at the Boeing Company. We are having an info session later today at 4 to 5:30 p.m. in the high-tech room in Pinchback Engineering Building. We'll be talking about this $36,000 that we've donated to the university just for this school year. That's for scholarships, classroom projects, and for student organizations. And in addition to that, we are here to hire students for internships and full-time job offers. Oh, appreciate you. So this is our business internship program. It's a paid internship. Say hallelujah, the paid. So I actually went through Boeing's internship program in summer 2012 in Puget Sound area. And through this internship and others, I was making more than my parents combined. And so we paid pretty well. It's for 10 to 12 weeks. You apply in the fall, like now. So if we have flyers around, and if you haven't gotten one, then I have business cards here. You can come to our info session at 4 p.m. in high-tech room in the Pinchback Engineering Building. And we'll have the job requisition ID number that you can go online to www.boeing.com/careers. And you can apply. So if you apply tonight, we're having screenings and interviews tomorrow in career services, but you have to apply today. We're all over the U.S. and all over the world. We're operating over 150 countries. And some of our major sites in the U.S. include Texas, all over Texas, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston. We're here in Louisiana, in New Orleans. We are in Huntsville, Alabama, Oklahoma City, that's where I reside, Boeing OKC. Chicago is where we're headquartered, St. Louis, Charleston, South Carolina, D.C. area, Philadelphia, L.A., Seattle, Arizona. So some pretty cool locations. We can go to the next one. So the different majors that we hire are finance and accounting, supply chain, that was my internship. I interned in supplier management. Business operations and human resources. So now I'm more in business operations. I work in what's called export. Boeing is the U.S. #1 exporter. And I'm proud of that because I remember Dean says Boeing leaders are readers. And so he had us read this book by Magic Johnson. I forget the name of the book, but so how many of you have heard of Magic Johnson? So, known as being a basketball player, but people who are older probably know him as being a great businessman. Jay-Z before Jay-Z. And so he owns a lot of businesses. And so he had this guy who was working with him as kind of a consultant. And the guy was advising him on, which company to buy franchises in. And I think it was between like McDonald's and Burger King. And the guy was saying Burger King and McDonald's, and Magic Johnson was like, I don't know if that's right. Why would I go with them instead of Mickey D's? And the guy was like, your whole career, when you were on the Lakers, you were #1. You were a #1 player, #1 team. The business decisions you made so far, you have been #1 in your market, the first to break into them. And so I wouldn't put you in any other franchise than the #1 franchise. And from that day, he chose to go with Burger King and has made a lot of other decisions. And so for me, somebody working in export, I feel proud in saying that I work for the #1 export company in the country. And this is export is a part of supply chain management. It's the flow of goods and information inside and outside the U.S. So these are some details about our programs. This is kind of the majors, some of your responsibilities that you'll have, and some of the locations that we hire for those. So it's the supply chains, it's biz ops, staff analysts, it's HR. And again, you can come to our info session today, 4 p.m. in High Tech Room in Fishback Engineering Building to learn more about that. And scholarships. We have, again, $36,000 that we are donating, and so I think 6,500 of that is for scholarships for the College of Business. And so, I know these people have a lot of scholarships, and I'm sure they'll be there to give them, but, if y'all don't come, then we'll have to happily give them to them.
Can you repeat that, please, for the people who still believe the myth that because it's over in the engineering building, you're not looking for business students?
We are definitely looking for business students. I remember the summer I interned, we had 6 business students, and I think maybe 4 engineers interning, and so definitely looking for business students. Our business interns are 20 times more likely than any other applicant to be hired into a full-time position at Boeing. After I interned, I had 3 job offers before I went back home. So meaning a year before I graduated, I already knew I had a job. And I had, once I graduated, I think I had like 12 job offers, but 3 of them from Boeing. So we have full-time, entry-level, non-rotation programs. We have rotational programs where you maybe take 2 or 3 years and you have 3, 4, 5, 6 different rotations between functions. We have HR, we have business careers, and we have business skills, which is more of a finance rotation. How to apply? You go to boeing.com/college careers. The job ID number, if you want to write this down, you can apply. It's 18000696162. So you would go to boeing.com/college careers, and there's a search. You would search for the job ID number 18000696162. That's for our internship program. So we have locations all over the country. But for that opportunity, it's just a bucket requisition, meaning that they're going to hire hundreds of business interns out of that one requisition. So, it's all over the country. So if it says Seattle, don't think you're going to have to go to Seattle. It's going to be people in Philly, Oklahoma City, etc. Again, we have an info session today at 4 p.m. in the High Tech Room in Fishback Engineering Building. Bring your resume. We will also be talking about our scholarships that we have that we're offering, $1,000 to students. We have food provided. Bring your resume. We have food provided. We're also doing interviews tomorrow. That's a little bit about me. I think I might have used up my time, so I won't go into that, but you can just see kind of some of the stuff that I did while I was in school. So I want to piggyback on everything that they said. Dr. Powell and I were over here shaking our heads, kind of like every remark. Make sure you intern. Make sure you intern. Make sure you intern. It is so important. I was kind of known as a professional intern when I had 5 before I graduated, but I wanted to make sure that I had paper while I was in college, and then when I graduated, I could choose whose paper I was cashing every other week, not have to, pick a job. And those are some of the experiences I had. Somebody asked a question about globalization culture, and it's very important. The pictures on the top left and right are me in China studying abroad with the National Urban League and the student board members of Alpha, Kappa, Delta, and SGRL. So that's my presentation. If you have questions, I do have business cards here. More than welcome to talk to me after. I'll be speaking in Dr. Ray's class immediately after this and tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'd love to hire some of you. Our requirement is 3.0 GPA. If you don't have that, don't let that stop you from coming to the info session later today, because we sell scholarships. Thank you. Anybody have a question? Let's take one question. Somebody have a question? Somebody have a question? Yes. You don't have to, but it's nice. You can tell us who you are.
Yeah, I know. Hi guys, my name is Deshauna Bradford. I am a double major in business management with an HR concentration and marketing with sales concentration. I just picked that one. My question is, if you are an HR major, like how many internships are there for HR majors, and will there be any internships for marketing majors too?
We have thousands of internships, so yeah, some of those are HR, some of those are marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta apply. Any other questions?
I have one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just say it, say it,
Yeah.
say it.
Oh, okay. If like for me, I'm graduating in May of 2019. So will y'all be still looking for interns for the summer?
So if you're graduating in May, then you look for a full-time job unless you're going straight to grad school. So full-time positions, yes.
Okay.
And I think you've interned as well. So yes, you've interned.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
He's interned somewhere else, but not at Bowie.
You've interned. You do have an internship under your belt, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that puts you in a better position for a full-time job. All right. I'm any other questions? I will be here after I don't prolong the program. Sorry.
Thank you so much, DeMarcus, for sharing your experiences and telling us all the opportunities Bowen has to offer. As he said, he will be here for a short time after the forum if you have any other questions. And as always, we're very appreciative of refreshments, so thank you again for the pizza and water. We're going to move on to the next part of our agenda. Let's see where we are here. Introduction of student organizations. If there are any presidents or vice presidents of organizations in the audience, please stand really quickly, say who you are and what organization you represent. Really quickly, any presidents or vice presidents of organizations, student organizations.
Well, I'm not a president or vice president, but I'm Courtney Slaughter, Chief of Staff for the Senior Class Student Government Association.
Thank you, Caldrick. Anyone else would like to represent an organization, student organization? Marcus?
Once again, my name is Marcus Hill Jr. I am the co-treasurer for the National Association of Black Accountants, and it's called NAP.
Thank you, Marcus.
You go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Adam Rogers, a 21-year-old senior accounting major from Memphis, Tennessee, and I am currently the treasurer for the Collegiate 100 of Southern University.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Once again, I'm SUBR Goodman, and I'm a co-founder and co-president of the Jaguar Street team here at Southern University.
Thank you, Ms. Goodman. Anyone else, real quick? Courtney?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Courtney Wright. I'm a junior marketing major, and I serve as the treasurer for the 41 Club Student Alumni Association.
Thank you, Courtney. Okay, we're going to also ask that you all that represent an organization, if you will wait a few minutes after the forum, if any students have any questions about their student organization, they can see you afterwards. Okay. Some ways to stay connected with us here at the College of Business. Follow us on Twitter. You may want to just take a picture of the screen quickly. We're kind of running short on time here. Also like us and engage with us on Facebook. Also on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel, so go ahead and like us on YouTube as well, just to stay connected to the College of Business. And also we have a SUBR website page for the College of Business as well. So you may want to just take quick pictures of that. And in closing remarks, we're going to hear from the person that spends countless hours strategizing and collaborating to make sure that your experience here at the College of Business is a very fulfilling experience. Your Dean, Dr. Donald Andrews.
Who she was talking about. Countless hours strategizing. Okay. Thank you very much, and I'm happy that everyone is here. And why don't we give yourself an applause for being here? So we want to thank you all for being here. Sorry I was not here at the beginning of the program. We had Academic Dean's Council meeting, and that was a part of some of the strategizing we're doing in terms of trying to make sure we maintain our quality programs. And I'm really proud of the faculty and staff and students in the College of Business. I think we're somewhat looked upon as being exemplary with respect to other programs here at the university. As you know, we were reaffirmed by AACSB Shagri Gletu. Let's give him a round of applause for the director of our MBA program. So while some of you are saying that you want an internship or you have not had an internship experience, if you're a junior or senior, then you still have an opportunity in terms of the MBA program. I also want to thank our sponsor, Demarcus, Stand Up Demarcus. I want to thank you again for all you do for us. We're going. And again, he's saying that you don't have to go to the engineering building to get an internship, but if you go over there today, you may get one. So in terms of going over to the engineering school. So Demarcus, I used to call him our professional internship representative. And he's an example that, it's not how fast you get out of the College of Business. He prolonged his time here, but it's what you get when you leave here in terms of a career opportunity that's important. And so he more or less served as our poster kid for the internship experience. And you can see by his diligence and his work that it really pays off. In terms of the program, in terms of our panelists, I want to thank you very much for all you've done more or less to share your experience. I did get in on the tail end of the program, and I really want to say that the advice you gave was right on target in terms of how to get an internship. You talked about the career fair, networking, communications, resume, Thurgood Marshall format, speaking with faculty, attending conferences and workshops, and all the things that are available to you in the College of Business to help you along the way in building your professional curriculum. We added our Business Communications and Professional Development course as a way to help you. We've also more or less have more in the way of advising as a way more or less to help you in terms of understanding what it takes to be a success in business. As you know, our department chairs in Management and Marketing, Dr. Nagara and Dr. Gabriesos in Accounting, Finance, and Economics. We want you to go to them and ask them for information. If they can't give you the information, then come see the Dean's office, and we'll be welcome to try to put you in a position where we can help you to maximize your success. So I guess I've covered all of the bases. I really, again, want to thank you all for being here. Thank you more or less for all you do, and remind you that there is a program tonight at 6:30. There will be alumni here who are working in corporate America to give you information in terms of the transition from the academic environment into the professional career environment. And so that begins at 6:30, I think. Is that correct, Dr. Ash? So you'll have 4 of our MBA graduates that will be here talking about their transition from Southern University College of Business to corporate America.
Have they moved it from the Law Center?
It's in the Law Center.
No, is it in the Law Center or here?
Yeah, here, 313.
Oh, the
Okay,
flyer.
so it'll be
still
here at
says Law
313
Center.
tonight. Yeah. Okay. Also want to remind you of the career fair next Wednesday. Also, the opportunities are all along that week, so check the website of Career Services. How many of you have already signed up and know how to get to Career Services? That's about 50%. So the other 50%, there's some work you have to do. And so really, I just want to continue to ask you to participate in our programs and in our projects, because we're part of your team, whether you like it or not. And once you graduate from Southern University, you will always be what? A Southern University graduate. So we always want you to maintain that connectivity to the college. And so on the social media and all other aspects of our program. Are there any other announcements? I guess Dr. Ray, whoever's in charge of Ms. Banks, you want to close us out, or anything else we need to say? So again, I want to thank Dr. Ray and I want to thank Dr. Powell for all they do.